Phase 1 of my TCG's master plan is nearly done. The artwork's almost finished and the rules are pretty much there. But making my TCG is just the beginning. And today I'll get started on Phase 2, launching my game and putting it out into the world. I'll speak to some other TCG creators who've launched successful games and visit a TCG convention so I can find out what makes a successful trading card game. I'm Zach. I'm a nerd. I've been making trading card games since I was 8 years old, and I'm now 27 with an art degree, a career in product design, and a semi-successful indie trading card game. But I'm taking everything I've learned and putting my current game aside to create a new TCG, starting from nothing and ending with, I guess we'll see. Welcome to a TCG from scratch. This last episode I nailed down the card templates and rolled these out across the ocean and the desert deck. This is how the new cards are looking compared to how they were before, and they're looking really good. Another addition to the game is the 2 winners of the designer card contest. Thanks again to everyone who entered. The 2 winning entries are Grand Witness of the Sands by Thomas Gallagher and Drancor by Gabriel Aranda. We can put these in the new decks, but even the 600 plus entries that didn't win are still going to serve as inspiration to some upcoming cards. For a while I've had this ability with no art at all. You roll 2 dice and then kill a defender whose level is lower or equal to the result. I thought some art with like 2 dice dramatically flying towards the viewer would be the obvious choice for artwork, but that's so boring. I want my artwork to be more creative. I had this really cool entry from the designer card contest by Rhett Harrison. These 2 suits of armour in 1 card. Each dice could be represented by one of these knights in armour, and when you roll 2 dice, it would be the knights making a 2-pronged attack. It fits the ability in a really cool way. I see so many TCGs where creative opportunities are lost because support cards are called like energy gain and the ability gives you an energy card or something. You can do better than that and people will appreciate it. So huge thanks to Rhett for giving me the idea for Tozek and Tozuk. Now, if you want to see the full speed art for Tozek and Tozuk, it's up on the Chaos Galaxy Patreon. I started this recently and you can find a ton of full speed arts, full unedited battle videos, and even designs for cards that haven't yet made it into the game. You'll also get early access to TCG from scratch videos and a shout out in each of them. So big shout out to my current patrons, Per Luca, Unleashed TCG, Corbin Whitecotton, and It's Mr. Burrow. You guys are what's going to keep this game going. Putting these new cards into the decks, as well as the name Guzzlop the Devourer for this guy who needed a name last week, means the desert deck is finished. Woohoo! Okay, it's not quite finished. Some of the art still needs to be digitalised, some abilities need to get balanced, and I need to do the card backs. But it's a big milestone for me. The Ocean deck also just has 2 more cards to be made, which I'll do next video. But I now feel mentally ready in my mind to open up Phase 2 of the master plan. The last 12 episodes I've been focusing on making the game, Phase 1. Getting the rules, the art and the branding done. Phase 2 is releasing the finished game, and I've also split that into 3 parts. Part 1, printing the game. I need to find a factory that can make the cards. I need to make sure they can do everything I want, like high quality printing on good cardstock, print foil cards for the rares, that's exciting, and make the packaging for my 2 starter decks, and beyond that, some booster pack sets. And luckily, as I work as a product and packaging designer for my full-time job, I have some experience in this field. And I know a few factories that I could contact that could be useful. Part 1, I like to think, is kind of covered. Part 2 of Phase 2 is funding the game. This I don't have covered. It feels kind of weird to talk about on YouTube, but to print thousands of cards and ship them to all across the world, it's not going to be cheap. My plan for this is to launch a Kickstarter. And part 3, if part 2, the Kickstarter, is successful, is to launch the game. Set up an online store, get the word out to local game stores, ship the cards to you guys who want them, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. So I'll focus on Phase 2 for now. If you don't know Kickstarter, it's a crowdfunding site where I'd say, hey, I want to print 2,000 packs of cards, package them and ship them. And this is going to cost me $10,000, let's say. I've just made that up. Now, if you pay me $10 for a couple of packs, and enough other people do, I'll raise that $10,000. I'll then hit my Kickstarter goal to print and ship the cards. And my dream of making a professional TCG will have come true. A lot of games have done this and succeeded. But even more have done this and failed, and I really want mine to succeed, obviously. Now, this aspect of game making is something I've never done before. It's all completely new to me, but it's not new. to my friend Steve. Gem Blenders launched their game in 2023. Their Kickstarter got funded in a day, and they're now regulars at conventions, have tournaments in local game stores, and are a fully established name in the indie TCG scene. And I want to find out how they've done it. I've been internet friends with the game's creator, Steve, for a few years now. I've even opened some of the beta versions of Gem Blenders packs on my channel. You can check out that opening video in the description. I've got one pack left here, but since then they've released their game and it's been a success. So I phoned up Steve and asked him where I needed to start.
Hey Zach.
Hey Steve, how's it going?
Good. Nice to meet you face to face.
Good. Yeah. I mean, we've been in touch for so long. It's good to finally chat. How's the world of Gem Blenders going?
So we're working on a second set now. You know, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I do know.
How about you?
I'm all good. Currently, working on my first set, or the first 2 starter decks for my new game. Planning to put it on Kickstarter. Obviously, the world of indie card games isn't new to me, but the world of sort of Kickstarter completely is. And I was just wondering if you had tips on getting started, launching the campaign, and kind of ways to make sure that it would be as successful as it can be.
Conventions and stuff leading up to it, which I think getting people's emails was incredibly helpful. People were interested in supporting games, and just showing them demos of it and having people play it. I think that was probably the most key part. Is important. You shouldn't just out of the blue start a Kickstarter project.
The way I'm currently making my game and looking to launch it is just by having 2 starter decks.
It would certainly be a lot cheaper to print. I think the bulk of the pricing usually comes from randomizing the cards and creating the booster boxes. Our experience, I think a booster box is kind of essential. That's what people want to keep buying.
Yeah.
And also having a sophisticated rarity system where there is a reason to keep buying.
That's also helpful, yeah. Thanks, man. Really appreciate that.
Thanks, Zach. Good luck with everything.
Me and Steve chatted for 40 minutes. It was really nice talking all things TCG, but from Steve's insight, there are 3 things to ensure your TCG has a successful Kickstarter. Your game should already have an audience. A lot of people will launch a Kickstarter, and because people don't know about the game, it'll just get lost in the other hundreds of games that are being launched, and it won't get funded, unfortunately. But luckily, my game already has somewhat of an audience. You guys. So that's a great start for me. His next bit of advice was going to conventions. That's a great way to get your game attention, and loyal attention. If you see people at conventions can talk about your game face to face, sit down and play with them, and even give them cards, that's a great way to guarantee that they'll back your game on Kickstarter. So I need to look into this. And finally, Steve said that having 2 starter decks to launch the game is a great start, but what people really want is booster packs. People will only ever want 1 starter deck, really. Once they've got all the cards in it, the only extra thing they can add on is booster packs, and it can turn a $15 Kickstarter pledge into a $100 Kickstarter pledge with a starter deck and a load of booster packs. So that's something I need to think about, because although I plan to make a booster set, it wasn't part of the game's initial release. So with all these points to think about, I looked into conventions. I've never been to a trading card convention before, which surprises me. But I found one here in London called the London Card Show, forcing my Star Wars obsessed flatmate to come with me at the promise of some rare Darth Maul cards, and I went to scope out the competition.
Hell yeah, get me in there. Some of these old Yu-Gi-Oh! Titanic cards. There's a game for everything. Simpsons, Barbie TCG. These are awesome. I just kind of want to reach in and buy some packs. Some really awesome old cool TCGs here to definitely take inspo from. What did you get at the London Card Convention?
Spearing the
Oh, no way! That's actually related to a card I've made for the new game.
Yes, the cactus one.
Yeah.
We'll get him back.
They're cool cards.
Yeah, they're nice, isn't it?
Yeah. What did the booster pack look like? Nice, they're cool. I like that style. What else did you get?
Van Helsing, you murder.
The entire set of it. Is it 2004?
Yeah, 2004 for a 5 mate.
Brilliant. I also went to the Yu-Gi-Oh stand, and the guy running it was the guy who works my Yu-Gi-Oh locals, and I beat him in a little intro game.
How long did the match go for?
It's like 10 minutes.
Is it? Yeah.
And won a load of free sample cards. So even though it probably wasn't the most successful day in terms of Evoverse progress, did make a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh progress and got some free stuff as well. So can't complain, and it's all part of the process.
Now, apart from getting distracted and spending most of my money with the Yu-Gi-Oh vendors, this convention didn't really help. It was more for established games like Pokemon, Magic and football cards, and unfortunately in the UK there isn't a huge scene for indie games like there is in the US. So I needed to find someone like Steve with useful knowledge of how to start a TCG and get on the convention scene, but had done it in the UK. So I went back to my old homemade TCG binder.
Oh my god, this thing's huge. Aha.
And remembered Nasty Ones, a crazy game that I've opened up before and had contact with its creator, Rafflesia. Apart from getting my videos demonetized, the game had also funded a successful Kickstarter and showed up at UK conventions. I needed to get in touch. Rafflesia is also really busy launching another Kickstarter right now for a different game. It's not a TCG, it's just a full box game called Stitched Up, but it looks really fun. I'll leave a link if you want to check her Kickstarter out in the description. But Nasty Ones, if you're watching this, please respond to my email because I need your help. If anyone in the UK knows of some good indie game conventions for me to check out, please let me know. I'd be so grateful for some insight. So the card templates are nearly done. I'm still not 100% happy with them, but it was time to look at the type of card I always leave till last, the effectors. Kind of tough because they're not realm specific. When I was making the desert and ocean cards, I knew I just wanted to put like deserty mountains and oceany waves in. But with something generic that isn't linked to a realm, it's hard to pin down what you want the card to show. So I made this, which does look quite generic, and then I was thinking for some desert themed effectors or ocean themed effectors, I can warp the template slightly to add elements of those realms in. And I'm happy with the look of these for now. So I'm ready to print a load of them out. But unfortunately, my work clocked that I was using their printer to make all these cards, so I didn't get in much trouble. But for non-work printing, I had to go back to the old print shop, which isn't free, unfortunately, but you did us a good service for a year, work printer. I'll never forget you. So with the new effectors and a fully artwork desert deck, so exciting, I got into a playtest.
And it's cool knowing that going into this playtest, I'm not going to see a single unartworked card in the desert deck. Hopefully we can see some of the new cards like Tozek and Tozuk or the designer card contest winners. That'd be really cool to play Great Witness of the Sands. The desert deck really needs a win this episode. It's been quite a long time since they've even won a battle in a video. If the ocean deck wins this one, they might be looking at a nerf. I think let's get the evolvers in the right order and roll for who goes first. 5 for the ocean deck and 4 for the desert deck. So both starting on 5. Desert deck gets the steel token.
Let's get going. Interesting opening hand. So we've got 6 to work with. Let's play an Amobapod and probably pass the turn there. Desert player and then draws for turn. What have we got? Lots of effectors. We'll go Tozek and Tozuk down and then go with a Bob 3611 and kill the Amobapod. Amobapod's ability, let's roll 6. Unfortunately, they won't get to bring out another Amobapod. This Amoebapod miss pretty much sums up the day for the ocean deck. The desert player got a great opening hand with some low-level defenders you'd want to see at the start of a game, and some useful effectors too. Unsurprisingly, they took an early lead, and the ocean player saw their stage 1, 2 and 3 Evolver get bonked quite early on. The Desert Realm deck really went from strength to strength, really utilising the dice roll manipulation abilities of Dice Time Shifter and Bob 3611 to make cards like Rockabocker stronger and to do a cool combo with new cards Tozek and Tozuk, which is exactly how I intended the Desert deck to work, so it's really satisfying to pull moves like this off. Let's go and use, for the first time, Tozek and Tozuk. Roll 2 dice. That's only a 7. So we can't void a defender in play. However, because a Bob died last turn, we can change one of these to an auto 6, 12. That's enough to take out this strong level 8 that was causing us some problems. And Tozek and Tozuk, that's a pretty good debut from it. Comboing with the Bob 3611, we love to see it. Then 350, I don't think there's much we can do to take this out. Unless we go in with a Voidgrave Return. Let's try it. We'll go Voidgrave Return. Let's sacrifice a Gazonkling from hand and bring back our Rockabocker. 4 or 5 and we can take out the Evolver. That's a 5. Wow, Rockabocca rolls on fire today. So let's go Rockabocca 500 power, kill the Kaznokan Serpent. It really wasn't looking good for the Ocean deck. They did stage a bit of a comeback 2/3 into the game with some Blood Blast shenanigans, but the Desert deck just kept applying pressure and it looked like it was game over. But if there's one thing this Ocean deck is good at, it's clinging on to games it should have lost, using things like Amoeba Pods, Blood Blasts and Frostbozzes as mini shields for its evolvers. Yeah, let's play Grand Witness and then go Block Juice. So he loses 150 from his own ability and then gains 100 back. So he's on 200, 350, which is just enough. Kill that, kill that. Ocean player still seems to be clinging on, and that's what this deck is really good at. Just having weak creatures on board, blocking stuff. They held out for so many turns but couldn't find the answers, and eventually Dune Atomic Abomination, the defender with the strongest base power in the game, sealed the deal and won it for the Desert player. Past the turn, Desert player draws. Kazon Colossus isn't going to help the situation. That's an 8. Player Kazon Colossus uses its ability. Once a turn we can roll. A 3 is not what we want, but once a turn we can re-roll with Dice Time Shifter. A 1, we can +1 from Kronk's ability to make it a 2, which takes out the level 2 defender. And that is game. It took a lot. This Ocean deck is really good at just like holding out attacks, but it was kind of a one-sided thrashing from the Desert deck. Ocean player really didn't get the rolls they needed. Things like Amoeba Pods weren't pulling off. But that's how the game goes sometimes, and that's what makes this game kind of fun, and any deck can beat any deck. But that was a fun game. I'm actually glad the Desert deck won. I was playing the game evenly, but Desert deck has needed a win for a while. And it was great to see some of the new cards, like Grand Witness, although it didn't work out greatly in this episode. Tozek and Tozuk did, which is fun. The swap token, Steel token got quite a lot of use there, which it hasn't a lot of the time recently, so I'm glad to see that mechanic getting made the most of. And yeah, that was a good battle. If you want to see this full battle, I'll upload it to my Patreon in the next couple of days, so you can check it out there. But apart from that, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram @TCG from Scratch, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.